Hey guys! The book that I chose to evaluate this week is called The Grand Canyon, and it is illustrated and written by Jason Chen. So, a little bit about the author. He's from New Hampshire. He lives in Vermont with his wife and kids, and he is a very hands-on research kind of guy. He likes to go camping and stuff like that and be on site whenever he's researching. For instance, for the Grand Canyon, he actually went down and camped out at the Grand Canyon at the bottom, and he stayed there overnight and did all his research like that. His style is kind of combining imaginative storytelling with science, so he makes science really interesting for kids and takes them through a little journey with his books. A little bit more about him is that he is the author of many other books, actually, such as Redwood, Islands, A Story of the Galapagos, Gravity, Water is Water, and so many more. He actually studied illustration at Syracuse University, and good thing that he did, because his studying paid off, because his book, The Grand Canyon, actually won the 2018 Caldecott Medal honor, also the 2018 Seibert Medal honor, and the 2018 NCTE Orbits Picture Award. And it was also on the Book List Editor's Choice top of the list in 2017. The reason why I chose this book is, I looked through what our instructor gave us, the websites that the instructor gave us, and I looked through all the books, and the one that stood out to me the most I just picked. And I picked it because I like the Grand Canyon and I really love hiking. And I think that the Grand Canyon is one of the most beautiful, most mesmerizing, relaxing places to be. You could just get lost while you're there. Get lost mentally while you're there. It's so relaxing. So the book is actually really about the Grand Canyon, but the author chooses to do it kind of from the learning perspective of a father-daughter that are hiking throughout the Grand Canyon. So they're going, they're hiking up, and from each layer, they start at the bottom, and from each layer up, it's like a new window of information for them, because with each layer comes different kind of fossils, different history, throughout the years. It goes back to 515 million years ago and younger. So as they go hike up, the information changes, and the history of the rocks and the sediments and how they were eroded, and the animals that inhabited them, and all the little creatures and plants, and the climate of the time frame, the age of the rock, it's all different. And he does a really good job of taking the reader through that journey and aging of the rocks and of the canyon and their erosion and just the history of it all. It does a good job educating. I liked it. Like I said, it said how the canyon formed and the different rocks formations, and like I said, the way they were eroded by the Colorado River. This book, I would say, is for 4th through 8th grade. So kind of middle school age children. What I learned from the book is, apart from the fact that it's 277 miles long and 18 miles wide, as well as 1 mile deep, the canyon is home to various ecological community based on elevation. What that means is there's different species and different plants and just different communities of, like I said, species depending on the elevation of the canyon. Like I said before, there's different layers, and within each layer, one layer could be could have been deposited 280 million years ago, and what he talks about is the differences between those layers and its inhabitants, and it's super cool. Another thing that I learned is that the Grand Canyon is actually the home to the California condor vulture, which is about 23 pounds, and it's actually going extinct in a way because of the climate change. And he also spoke about the fact that the inner gorge of the canyon, which is the bottom most inner part of the canyon, is actually the hottest and driest part, And as you go up the canyon and as the rocks become younger, the climate becomes cooler and more moist. What else? So let's evaluate the text. I said that this text is nonfiction of inquiry. The reason I think that this text is nonfiction of inquiry is because the author sort of reveals the information as the characters are learning it, if that makes sense. So the readers are learning the information with the characters as they're hiking through the Grand Canyon and going up the elevation. They're discovering new animals and new creatures that live there and new rock deposits that they see and they can observe. And the author does a great job of illustrating what the characters in a book are seeing and what it means in reality. I think that this text is expository because it teaches the reader about the canyon and its different inhabitants and creatures that live throughout time and rocks and stuff. I think also that the author uses a combined organizational pattern because he uses description to describe the surroundings and types of animals that live there and all the erosion that happens, and also he uses sequence to show that with higher elevation, the rocks get younger, and also he uses compare and contrast to compare the different rock types and different layers of land and the different creatures that existed 280, 270, 500 million years ago, and so on. And he compares it to now. And then he also compares the innermost part of the canyon and its climate to the outermost part. And yes. Lastly, he shows sort of a timeline verbally. He shows how the rocks weathered and eroded at the bottom of the pages. Like he's got a little strip at the bottom and it shows different layers and how with time the erosion became bigger, and he also shows different types of rocks and how some look like there's different footprints, and it's super cool to see. He also shows different animals around the edges of the page. So depending on where the characters in the book are, which part of the canyon, he shows which animals and which creatures are in that part of the environment, and he has them all around like a little border around the book. It's super nice. To me, the artwork of this book is amazing. It's like a painted photograph. It looks realistic, but it's obviously drawn. And to me, it looks like somebody took a picture and then they were looking at the picture and drew everything out. It looks so perfect, so amazing. And he does a great job capturing the beauty of the Grand Canyon. It's so awesome. Like, no wonder he won the Caldecott Award. It's so good. How did this text enhance my learning? Well, I learned a bit about the Grand Canyon, and I would definitely recommend this book. And I think it's a good idea to read this book before visiting the Grand Canyon and maybe take it with you to kind of do like a interactive, fun game of, find scavenger hunt maybe. Like, which rocks can you find with your kids? It'll be a fun time with your kids if you read this book and explore the Grand Canyon. So yeah, if you had a chance, get this book and read it. It's super, super amazing. Thank you, guys.